hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. I've been thinking about Amazon FBA, but their entire career has been in the HR department at a corporate in corporate America. And I'm like, well, why would you? Why, if you've worked 20 years in HR, why are you wanting to jump ship and then do something you have never done before when you have 20 years of experience over here? Why don't you take that experience, take your knowledge, go to ChatGPT, say, ChatGPT, I've been in HR for the last 20 years. What kind of digital products can I sell? I mean, we could do this in real time. Like it'll come up with a list of an infinite list. You can have it say, hey, come up with 20 ideas of products that I could sell online. Being an expert in HR, and ChatGPT will come up with it. That ChatGPT will even build it for you if you ask it to, and you could have a business that is lucrative in a couple of days, and you already have all of the knowledge in whatever field or niche or whatever it is that you've been doing, whatever you have expertise in. So one of the first things I tell people when they're you know when they're trying to build a business is like, yeah, stick with what you know. Like you're already an expert. Like don't deviate. Don't just jump ship and try and do something completely random, because there's going to be another 20-year learning curve there. 10,000 hours, which is like 10 years if you do it 3 hours a day or something like that. Um, you want to spend 10 years learning how to do Amazon FBA? No, like nobody does. So anyway, I forgot what your question was, but that was another point that it triggered
Yeah.
a thought.
Well, I think you hit on it, like, hey, how to connect with people. That's exactly right to help them fulfill what they want. And we talk about this all the time. People in the wrong lane, got to get in your lane, stay in your lane, and that makes it easier for you. Almost, you're relearning. Like you said, you're relearning two things: how to market and sell, and how to create a whole new business you've never been in for 20 years. So that'd be super hard, I think. So
One of the most important aspects of sales is understanding your product and then understanding your customer.
yeah,
And so if you're like, I got into, I sold cars very briefly, about 6 months, for about 6 months when my wife and I first got married. And I remember going in and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm going to sell 20 cars a month. I'm going to make this amount of money. And I got in there and I didn't know anything about cars. And then I sold maybe one, two, and then I ended up getting fired six months in because I was like, I just wasn't selling enough cars. But I didn't know the products. And I remember the guys who crushed it. They're selling 17, 25, sometimes like 30 cars a month, like one a day. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And they knew everything about every single car on the lot. It was a Chevy dealership. They knew everything about every Chevy. And so when somebody came in and asked a question, they'd be like, "Yeah, that brings up a really good point. But have you thought about needing this amount of torque, and which is found in the Chevy Avalanche?" And then people would be like, "Oh, wow, I didn't know." And then they build trust in that salesperson, and then they would ultimately do the deal with them. I didn't know the product. And so it's like if you jump ship and you go to some field you have no idea about, you don't know the product. And so how can you build trust with your client or with your prospect if you have no idea what it is that you're selling? So stick with what you know.
If you're interested in learning more about the tidbits and advice that they have, then you should consider subscribing to the Two Comma Club newsletter, where you'll get daily updates and advice on the podcast and the things that we are learning from the individuals who have made at least $1 million. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com or click the link in the description down below and subscribe.